What's going on, everybody? It's Ted, aka Ted, here with the Countdown City Geeks, and we got another very special review for you guys. Joining me on this review of Twisters is the one and only Retro Ray.
What's going on, guys? It's always good to be back and talk about movies.
Yeah, and this is a spectacular one. We're not going to get into any spoiler territory, so you guys don't have to worry about that. But we will be talking about how we felt about the movie, some of the things they did right, but we're not going to give any spoiler details. So stick around, and if you've already seen it, let us know what you thought about the movie, or when you get a chance to see it, come back and let us know what you thought about it. This movie is action packed. The visuals, the sound editing, the special effects are all top notch. It is a blast. It's well paced, and you have two great leads in this movie. Of course, we're talking about everybody's new favorite sweetheart, Glen Powell, and also Daisy Edgar-Jones, who plays Kate in this movie. The two of them have great chemistry. The banter between them is fantastic. And more importantly, as an audience, you are invested in these characters. Like, you really do empathize with them and you feel for them because of what happens in the first opening minutes of this movie. So it starts off like just right out the gate, fantastic. And it really doesn't let loose. It is a whirlwind, no pun intended, of a movie. Ray, your thoughts, man?
No, it was great. I'm a fan of the original. The special effects were great, like you said at the opening scene. The way it, just right into the action. Um, and we get to see. I've never really seen David Corn Sweat act in a movie, so this was my first time seeing him in an actual movie, and kind of seeing him, and I'm like, okay, I can see remnants of Superman. I know we're talking about Twister, but he was in this movie. The cast, like you said, was great. Some of the actors that you see, they didn't show in trailers. So overall, the movie is phenomenal. Gonna go watch it again just because I want to see little things, more details. But I mean, it was great overall.
Yeah, so I really wanted to see it in IMAX. Our screening was not in IMAX; it was still in an AVX screen, which is above your standard sort of viewing experience. But I feel like the IMAX experience is the one you really need to go to. And yeah, you mentioned David Corn Sweat, who plays Superman in the upcoming James Gunn movie. He had a little bit to do in this one, and he wasn't terrible. He wasn't asked to do a lot. And somebody else I forgot to mention, Anthony Ramos, who I feel like is in every franchise these days. But he's just fantastic in this role, and this is a movie that I really appreciate that they did go for sort of the emotional um, aspect of this movie. What do I mean by that? We are invested because of the traumatic experiences that these characters go through, the trauma that they faced. Same thing, I'm saying it differently. The trauma that they faced, it really makes you feel for them. It works. It's effective, and that's something that you really didn't get too much of a feel for in the first Twisters movie. Like, and that's not to say that it wasn't there, but it was very quick. You really didn't get to feel the impact of some of the. I'm trying to stay very vague here, some of the dramatic moments in the film. In this movie, Twisters, there are stakes. They are real. Like, you feel the danger. You see the danger. I guess it's fair to say, like, there's not a lot of people that are gonna make it out of this movie. And whether it's characters we know, whether it's just, kind of extras in the background, like, I'm not going to say which is which, but you kind of feel the stakes and you feel the danger. It's an intense movie at times. If it's PG-13, it probably is. I'm going to say that mm, if you have kids on the younger side, I might avoid this one just because, like, it's too real sometimes. It's not like it's, aliens taking over the planet. It's not like it's a superhero villain or something like that that's, destroying buildings. Like, these are natural occurrences in the environment, and the destruction that they leave behind is very real. When you're seeing the aftermath of some of these tornado appearances, I feel like it could almost be just traded in for like a real uh real video of a real occurrence, because of just how realistic the damages, the destruction, the devastation, it's there. And it kind of hits differently knowing that these are real experiences that people, especially in the Panhandle and Tornado Alley, go through. Like, it hits different, and it focuses a lot more on the sort of public general experience, not just our main characters and kind of what they're going through, but it really paints a brutally realistic picture of the devastation that can be left behind from these tornadoes. We are so far south in Texas that we rarely see tornadoes, and if we do, they're like very short. They're super rare. I mean, like, we probably get one every 2 to 4 years, maybe,
Wow,
and
yeah.
they're very short. We don't even have emergency like services or like an alert that people in these areas in the movie have, because they're just super rare. So it does a way better. There's certain things that the first film probably did better. It broke ground in a lot of areas. But this one, it focuses on the human experience. It gets you more emotionally invested in these characters and what they're going through, and it paints a much better picture of realistic devastation that these environment phenomena leave
The
behind.
the original used a lot more practical effects. I mean, I was watching a documentary, or kind of like clips of James Paxton talking about like the house they built that supposed to spin around, and they had furniture in there, so like they were in the house when they were doing it, and they had like, I forgot it was, he said it was something about like 7 blocks that they basically recreated of actual photos from an actual tornadoes from Oklahoma from back into the 50s, and they tried to recreate the similar time of from that 7 block area, kind of similar to from those photos. And it was more live act. I mean, practical. I don't know how much of it is practical and CGI in here because you can't really tell, but it was good. I mean, the special effects, I liked it. Even it was kind of hard to tell between green screen and practicals.
Yeah, I agree. Like I mentioned, sound was great, special effects were great, visuals were great, great performances from like our lead cast, and this story and this script takes some unexpected twists and turns. You think it's going to be sort of a straightforward type of film. That's what the first one was. This one, they actually went for a few interesting turns and twists and unexpected things, some surprises. So got to give them kudos for that.
Yeah,
Let's get into our Geekcast rating now. It's a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being worst movie you've ever seen, 5 being greatest movie you've ever seen. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna give this one like a solid 4.25. It's only because like there probably could have been some more like more action, because what we got was really really good. I wanted a little bit more of that, but on the emotional side they went for it. It worked, it was effective, and there was comedy in this movie. I felt like we could have used even more. I think like half the jokes worked really well, the other half I kind of chuckled a little bit, but I feel like I probably could have used a little bit more comedy in the script, a little bit more light humor. That doesn't make it a bad movie at all. 4.25 is definitely higher than what I normally give. This is a solid flick. Everybody should go check it out. Ray, what do you think?
I'm gonna give it a 3. I would have given it a 4.5 if there was more. I know this was supposed to be a more of a newer series, but I kind of wanted some more paying homage to Bill Paxton and the original cast. To me, that's what took away from it a little bit. But overall, it was a great movie. It's just, if you're a true fan of the original, I think those little Easter eggs would have meant a lot more coming from us as fans, like hardcore fans, because that movie at that time frame was ahead of its time, and I think it would have been good. But overall, three, like I said, great to watch, action packed, loud speaking. I mean, the speakers are just loud, blowing from the wind and stuff. So, yeah, great movie.
Gotcha. All right. And that brings our overall Geekcast rating to a 3.625. Not too shabby, as I always say. We want to hear from you guys when you get a chance to check out Twisters. Come back. Let us know what you think about it in the comments. And if you're one of the lucky ones who actually won advanced screening passes and joined us, congrats. If you were not, and you want to be a part of some early screenings and join us in these theaters, be sure to follow us on social media as well as on our YouTube channel at Countdown City Geeks. And we will tell you guys about more upcoming releases and how you can get in those seats at some early advanced screenings, usually in the Texas area, but sometimes we get out there, some other states across the U.S. So check back real soon. For the Countdown City Geeks, my name is Ted, aka Steady, and joining me on this Twisters movie review is the one and only Retro Ray.
Peace, guys.